Today I'm going to show you guys how to crochet the popcorn stitch. This is a 3D stitch, and as you can see, it pops out from the back of your work and comes forward. There's a couple of different ways that you can crochet this, but essentially the important part of a popcorn stitch is that you are working full-sized stitches all into one stitch and then connecting them to create this pop in the crochet stitch. For the sample today, I'm going to be working 4 double crochets in 1 stitch. Now, each pattern that is used with a popcorn stitch, make sure you read the directions. Sometimes it might be worked with 5 double crochets or 6. Sometimes it might be worked with treble crochets, but the most common is a double crochet. So for today, we're doing 4 double crochets in a stitch to create the popcorn stitch. So traditionally, in your first rows of creating it, you're going to skip 1 stitch and then begin in the next stitch. So we will begin right here. You're going to crochet 4 double crochets all in that same stitch. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as you can see, you've got 4 double crochets all in 1 stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. The way that I prefer to create the popcorn is I turn my work, I count back those 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is the top of the first stitch I made. I'm going to insert my hook and slip stitch in that stitch, chain 1, and turn back to the front of my work. And I've created a popcorn stitch. So to repeat that, you're going to skip the next stitch, and in the next stitch, work 4 double crochets. There is 1, 2, 3, and here's our 4th double crochet. And one way to create the popcorn is to turn, count back to the beginning of your stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert in the beginning or the top of that first stitch. Create a slip stitch to create that popcorn, chain 1, turn back, and you've created your popcorn stitch. Skip the next stitch. In the next stitch, work 4 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets have been completed, all in 1 stitch. Turn your work, count back 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert your hook, slip stitch, chain 1, and turn back to the front of your work. Okay, the second way to work the popcorn stitch is you're going to begin the same way. You're going to skip the next stitch. In the next stitch, you're going to work 4 double crochets, or whatever number of stitches your pattern calls for. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. So I have 4 double crochets all in 1 stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now instead of turning, you're going to remove your hook, bring your hook back 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, insert your hook, grab the end loop and pull through, basically a slip stitch, and then chain 1. So again, that second option, you're going to skip the next stitch, work the same number of stitches in the next one to create the popcorn. So 4 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now remove your hook, count back 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, insert your hook, grab the end loop, pull through, and then chain 1. Skip the next stitch, work your 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, oops, and 4 double crochets have been completed. Remove your hook, count back 1, 2, 3, 4, insert your hook, grab the end loop, pull through, and chain 1. Now if you look closely, the stitches look the same. So these first 3, I removed my hook, and then these next 3, I turned. And if you look closely, they have the exact same look to them. So it's just a personal preference whether you prefer to do a turn and count back to grab that, or if you prefer to remove your hook.